Hey y'all, this is Robin with Can't Wait Smells Great, and this is what's for supper. I'm fixing a Cuban pot roast, or a version of that recipe from I Breathe I'm Hungry, her first week meal plan. It's got the recipe there and the supplies that you'll need. So this is my version. First off, we got a 3-ish pound roast. You know, whatever you see is on sale, and I just picked up a roast. 1 can of diced tomatoes with green chilies, and I got this brand. I looked at all of them, trying to make sure that it didn't have any sugar added and had the lowest amount of carbohydrates listed. And so for this one, it's 4 carbohydrates and fiber 2 grams, so it's 2 grams net carbs, and that's per half a cup serving. So that's spread out over top of your meat, and so it won't be as much. All right, then we got minced onion, 2 tablespoons of that. And I love onion. You have to be careful, you know, with your spices and stuff, what they are preserving things with, you know. And some of your spices have small amounts of carbs, and the carbs will add up if you're not careful. But then I got a teaspoon of garlic powder. Okay, and then I had bell peppers. I've already cut up some yellow and some orange, so I'll cut up some red. And I just take, because you know it's always got them seeds in there, and I just kind of cut to the edge of that top and cut down towards the center on the bottom. That way you're missing your seeds, and then I keep going around doing the same thing, and you get a clean slice and miss your seeds. I don't know what Jenny's doing. There you go. And then down to the very last little bit. You know, I used to cut them and pick out all the seeds out of all of them, but that way, you know, you get up with just a little seed pod. And that's for your trash bowl. Alright, then with your peppers, you're just going to make little slices like that. I like peppers. You know, I can eat them just plain all the time. They're good. I don't know what the carbs are in them. I've got to look that up. You know, I've been really trying to pay attention to extra carbs that are in things. You know, it came to my attention that something I bought said sugar-free, and in the details of the fine print it said sugar added, and it had apple juice concentrate used to make it. And you know, that's all carbs, but it says 0 carbs. So if you're trying to get into ketosis, if you eat a lot of those things, you know, it could keep you from going into ketosis. I bought beef jerky, I think I showed y'all, and had low carbs on it. It was the lowest one I could find. But when you looked in its ingredients, it had corn syrup. You know, so if you eat enough of that, it can knock you out of ketosis. So be real careful. Learn about your sugars, and I'm doing research on it right now so I can do a better video on it for you. But learn about those extra hidden carbs that kind of hide out there and can mess up your plans. Okay, back to the recipe. I'm sorry I got sidetracked. I'm like, if you know the movie Up, the little doggy, it's like squirrel, and that's me, squirrel, on a different subject. So anyway, so then I got ground cumin, and it's 2 tablespoons of ground cumin. Alright, and then ground coriander. Got ground coriander, and it's 1 tablespoon of coriander. And then I had hot Mexican style chili powder. So that's what I'm using. Of course, you can use regular chili powder, whatever kind of chili powder you got. But, you know, this was all I had, so this is what I'm using. So 1 tablespoon. And then of course always salt and pepper to taste. And then her recipe calls for some apple cider vinegar. It's 2 tablespoons. And we'll put that in. So I'll be right back with you. Okay, I've put my roast in the crock pot and all my dry ingredients first. And then I put strips of yellow and orange pepper. And then I put a can of diced tomatoes with green chilies. And I tried to find the one with the lowest carb count on it on the shelf and with no sugar added. Oh my goodness, I wish I had smell-o-vision so y'all could smell this. My mouth is watering like crazy. It smells like I'm in a Mexican restaurant. And oh, I can't wait to get into it. It's only been cooking for a couple hours. I've had it on high in the crock pot, so it'll be ready soon. Alright. So my roast is done, and now I'm just going to take 2 forks and start to shred it. And just take and pull it apart. Let me show y'all. Hot, hot. So that's what it looks like. Looking really, really good. There ain't no way I can hold this and do this at the same time, but I'll show you with 1 fork. But you see how it just comes apart so easy. Alright, so that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna shred it up like that. It's so good and tender. It smells so good. So I'm just gonna shred it up and I'll be back and show you what I did. Okay, so I used my forks and run through it, and you know, oops, I'm fogging. That's better. Stuff I gotta learn as I go. So I've shredded up my beef. Now I think I'm going to fix me some riced cauliflower and then put that over top of it. So I will be back with the finished product. I can't wait. I think I'm going to eat a bite. I know it's scalding hot and it'll burn my tongue, but my goodness, it smells so good and it looks so good. And like I think I've already said, it smells like a Mexican restaurant in here. It smells so good. Okay, I'll be right back with you. Here's the finished product. I have the Cuban, or my version of Cuban pot roast on top there. And then I took bird's eye riced cauliflower I had. It's frozen. My microwave's broke, so I cooked it on top of the stove. And it said to add a 1/4 cup of water when you cook it. So instead of adding water, I added the pot roast juices to it to give it that flavor. And then I fixed asparagus from frozen. I did 400 degrees in the oven for 10 minutes, and then I put some Parmesan cheese on it and did it for about 5 more minutes. Okay, so with the weather, you know, the hurricanes made landfall in, I think, Wilmington, North Carolina is getting tore up pretty bad right now. The wind's been blowing really bad here today. Not really bad yet. I mean, just more so than usual. It's blowed some stuff off my porch. And we've had, earlier it was just a couple drizzles, and just a little bit ago we had a downpour, but it didn't last long. I know we're several hours from Wilmington, so it'll be a little while before it gets to us, you know. But let's keep everybody on the coast in our prayers, you know, because they're getting hammered pretty hard. Alright, so now supper. Go on, Bo, you can't have any. I'm going to take me a bite. It smells delicious. I've already said it smells like a Mexican cantina in here. You know, I can just close my eyes and imagine that I'm somewhere in Spain and at a good Spanish, you know, restaurant, or in Mexico. You know, I'm just eating real food. The cumin and coriander, you know, that brings out the Mexican flavors. A little bit of sweetness from the pepper. I've never had riced cauliflower like this before, and it's actually really, really good. It's got a good tender flavor, or a good tender bite to it. It reminds me of rice, so I could you know, if I didn't know it was cauliflower, the bite on it, it gives me that rice bite. So it makes me not miss rice. So, that's really good. And then, of course, I love asparagus, so I know it's going to be good. So, anyway, I hope you enjoy this recipe. And I hope you've enjoyed your time with me and what's for supper, y'all. And I will see y'all soon. Thank you.